Hello, everybody. How we doing? I'm Craig, and this is Spirit of Vinyl. Hope you guys all had a great week. It's another Friday night. It's a 3-day weekend here in America. Here in the United States, we have a 3-day weekend. Monday is a holiday, so some of us don't have to work on Monday. So it's time to get started. So cheers to you all. All right, how are you guys doing? Hope you guys all had a great week and are enjoying your 3-day weekend or getting ready to enjoy it for those of you in the United States anyway. For the rest of you, I don't know, sucks to suck? I don't know. No, I'm just kidding, okay? Don't take me seriously. Sorry about that. Well, okay, we're back to, I got part 8. I don't know if you can hear that. We got some thunder going on. It's been raining for days out here in Tennessee. We've had rain for like 4 days, and it looks like it's going to rain for another 5 or 6. So my weekend might be shot. Planning on having people over tomorrow and having a barbecue, but who knows what'll happen there. So anyway, I'm at part 8 of my epic dumpster find. I'm still in the hard rock section. I think a lot of you guys are going to enjoy this one, though. Lots of classic cool bands. Basically, yeah, I think you guys will enjoy it. So we're going to get started. The first one I have, this is Rainbow, Ritchie Blackmore's Rainbow, Japanese press. This is a 1980 Japanese press. This album actually came out in 1975. It says on Discogs that this is a limited edition. I don't know what makes it limited. Doesn't really explain it. It just says that it's 1980 Japanese press, that it's limited. So this is, of course, this is with Dio. It's got Man in the Silver Mountain on it. 16th Century Green Sleeves, Snake Charmer. There's your track listing right there. It's a gatefold. Like that. The pictures kind of go that way, so very cool. Very nice, still stiff and in great condition as per usual. There's a little tiny crease in the corner, but besides that, this thing's in great shape. Here's the insert. There's your Japanese side. There's your English side, and this is on Polydor Records. The classic red Polydor, or orangish red. I think it's more of an orange. Polydor. This is a great album. I mean, I really enjoyed this one a lot. I never owned any Rainbow albums until I found these. So technically these are like my first Rainbow albums, and there's going to be more Rainbow, so we'll keep going with that. Here's the next one. This is Difficult to Cure. This is from 1981, and this is also a Japanese pressing. I think this one's got, I want to say all right, let's see what we got on here. I Surrender, Spotlight. It's kind of hard to read. There's the track listing right there. I Surrender, Spotlight, Kid, No Release, Magic. Yeah, and this one is, let's see here. Let me just double check just to make sure. I want to say, yeah, Joe Lynn Turner on vocals on this album by now. Joe Lynn Turner's on vocals, because, yeah, I mean, this came out in 1981. So, yeah, by then Dio was out. Here's the insert. This one opens up. It's got the English on the inside, the picture right there. It's got some Japanese in the back here. Difficult to Cure, and that is also on Polydor. Same orangish red logo. Very good shape. This one, compared to the last one, The Richie Blackmore's Rainbow, I mean, that one, I think that one's a much better record. I love Joe Lynn Turner's voice, but I don't, this one isn't really one of my favorites of that. And next up, this is the Best of Rainbow. This is a 1980 Japanese pressing, also on Polydor. This one is a double album. It's got 4 tracks, or 4 sides, I'm sorry, right there. And it starts with, a lot of the earlier stuff. It goes through the Dio stuff, and then it jumps into like Joe Lynn Turner and stuff. And it's also got some David Coverdale stuff on here too. So this is actually a really good album. Let's see here. There's your inner sleeve, the inside of it, gatefold. When you look up Best of Rainbow on Discogs, this is not the cover that shows up. This is only the Japanese one, and it came out in 1980. And then there's a U.S. version, Best of Rainbow, that I think comes out in 81, but it has a different track listing. So, there's the inner, that's the English side. There's your Japanese side, and sorry, having a hard time grabbing them. Once again, it's a double album, once again on Polydor. Once again, shiny and brand new looking. So, yeah, double record. That's a really good one. I really enjoy that one. And this next one here, I really like this album too. This is Bent Out of Shape. This is a 1983 German pressing, also on Polydor Records. There's the back of that. The reason I really love this second song, side 2, Street of Dreams, what a great tune. And I really like this record. And this is more, this is what Blackmore wanted to do. He wanted to take it kind of a more radio-friendly style of music compared to what they were doing earlier with Dio. So, and that's why the changes in singing and so on. So, yeah, this is Bent Out of Shape. And like I said, 1983 German press. There's the inner with it. It's got song lyrics on it. And also on Polydor, but slightly different label on there. So, because they kind of like they changed their logo just a tiny bit compared to the earlier stuff. So, and that's the Rainbow collection. That's all the Rainbow I have. And all of that was stuff I had found, and I have not bought any other Rainbow. I've thought about trying to find Rising or, something like that, but I think I'm okay with what I got, especially with the Best of. So, but yeah, those are my first Rainbow albums. I never owned any beforehand. I did have some of those cassettes as a teenager that had like Street of Dreams on it, and Man on the Silver Mountain or whatever, those like K-Tel style things or whatever, so, but overall, first time I ever owned any Rainbow. And speaking of first times and only times, next up, Rock Goddess, Hell Hath No Fury. This was a band, when I found this, I did not know this band when I found this record, but I mean, as soon as I saw the cover, I knew I was keeping it for sure. And there's the back, and then I played it, and I was like, holy shit, this is a great band, man. These girls, this album kicks ass. This is great stuff. Let's see, this is 1983, it's Holland Press. Yes, it is from Holland. So, yeah, so this is a great album all the way through. I mean, I really dig it. I've tried to find some more of their stuff. Not easy to find. The inner sleeve was just one of these, that has, like, showing what else is available or whatever on there. And I want to say, yeah, this is on A&M Records. It's got that silver A&M label on it right there. Hell Hath No Fury, Rock Goddess. If you haven't heard it, I suggest giving it a listen. It is excellent. It's an excellent album. Okay, next up is, this is a compilation style of album. This is The Rock Machine Still Turns You On. You can see from there who's on here: Judas Priest, Fastway, and Aldo Nova, The Buzz, Molly Hatchet, Hughes Thrall on there. It says Volume 1. And then if you flip it around to the back, this is The Rock Machine Still Turns You On, Volume 2. This is a double gatefold. I don't know if they were released separately and then put together later. This is a 1983 Holland press. There's the inside. It shows all the track listings of the songs that are on there. It's got The Hellion, Electric Eye from Judas Priest, Buck Dahmer's Born to Rock, Aldo Nova, Hot Love, Frank Marino, Juggernaut, Fastway, Hef, Three Lock Box by Sammy Hagar, Too Much to Ask For by The Buzz, Molly Hatchet, Under the Gun, Hughes Thrall, First Step of Love, Fastway, Easy Livin', Neil Schon and John Hammer, Longtime, band called Moving Pictures, The Angel and the Madman, Loverboy, Lucky Ones, Toronto, Break Down the Barricade, Aerosmith, Cry Me a River, Trust, Antisocial, Antisocial, Trust, the original Antisocial, which all I knew was an Anthrax song. Fort Knox, Lucifer's Eyes, Quiet Riot, Come On Feel the Noise, Minglewood, Rumor, and Larry Gowan, Keep Up the Fight. Half of these people I had never heard of. So I don't know who Minglewood was, or Fort Knox, or Larry Gowan, or, you know, I'm sure if I looked him up, they would be playing in something else or whatever. And those are on Epic Records, probably just put out by Epic. Just got your classic Epic logo on there. I have spun this a couple of times. It's a good little thing to listen to. You just want a variety of some rock and roll. You get some cool stuff. And like I said, that was from 1983 Holland Press. All right, next up, it hasn't been that long since I've shown this. I showed this in a thread or something recently. This is Rose Tattoos, Assault and Battery, Angry Anderson and the band. This is kick-ass stuff. I'd never heard of this band either until I found this, and I've said it before, they remind me of AC/DC. Of course they would. They're from Australia. They kind of came up at the same time. Actually, I want to say it is produced by J. Albert and Sons. So this is 1981 Japanese press, and it is a promo, it says. So, but yeah, this is a killer record. There's the back of it right there. It's just got the track listing on it. This is just, I mean, this is a killer record all the way through and through. Just pure rock and roll. There's your inner, the Japanese. And it's on Mirage. And it's got a white label, but I don't know if that means it's a white label promo or not. But according to Discogs, through the going through all the run out grooves and all that and all the etchings, says it is a promo. So, but it does no notes to say what kind of promo it is, if it's a radio promo or whatever. So, yeah, 1981 Japanese promo press. So, all right. So, moving on. Next up is Rush Moving Pictures. This is a 1981 U.S. press. This is a press roll pressing, and it says white font. So I don't know what that means, because everything I'm looking here is red, unless it's on the record itself. But Discog says white font. So there's the back of that. This one is kind of weak. I mean, look how wobbly this thing is. And let's see, here's the inner that came with it, still in great shape. And there's the there's your label right there. It is on Mercury. This is a good record. I'm not a huge Rush fan, honestly. This has got Tom Sawyer and Red Barchetta and XYZ and Limelight on it. I mean, that's a great side right there. That's side one, you know. Side two, The Camera Eye, Witch Hunt, and Vital Signs. You know, I mean, I like Rush. I saw Rush a couple of times back in the day, but I'm just not a huge fan. I get how great they are, how great of musicians they are, and everything else, but I've just never been a huge fan. So that's technically same thing. First Rush albums I ever owned were these ones I found in the dumpster. And here's the other one right here. This is Permanent Waves. This is a 1980 US press. It says it's a 72 PRC Richmond press, and I guess the 72 on there means it was pressed in Richmond, Indiana. So there's the front of that. There's the back. I do love the cover on this, the idea of Permanent Waves with her hair and the waves and just, you know, everything on here. Very cool stuff. Very good. And it's a good album also. There's your inner. Inner's kind of wrinkled up a little bit. There's a picture of the band right there. This has got lyrics on the other side. And this is also on Mercury. And there's your label right there. See what's on this one. Entre Nous, Different Strings, Natural Science. That's the B side. The A side, Spirit of Radio, Free Will, and Jacob's Ladder. I do like this. I prefer Moving Pictures over Permanent Waves. If I'm going to pick one of these two Rush albums to play, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to play Moving Pictures. And that's all the Rush I have. That's it. Just those two right there. Just the ones that I found. And like I said, never owned a Rush album before. I should pick up 2112, and you know, I see some of the other ones, Fly By Night and stuff like that. Probably end up buying more as time goes on. But at this point, like I said, I was never a huge fan. So, all right, next up, Sammy Hagar, Danger Zone 1980 Japanese pressing. There's the back of that. Look how young Sammy is right there. And there is your track listing right there. Not a bad track listing. A great record. I mean, Sammy's a good guitar player and a great singer, so you can't go wrong with that. Here's the inner. It's got a picture of Sammy on the front, and it opens up. It's got your Japanese on one side, your English on the other, and then more pictures of Sammy on the back. For me, as a teenager, the only Sammy Hagar I knew was the stuff off of VOA, of course, at the time, until he joined Van Halen. I did not know this record, did not know really any of these songs. I knew Three Lock Box and the VOA album, and I had never really owned a Sammy album beforehand either until this. And now I do have a copy of VOA that I bought, but we're not showing that today because that is not a dumpster find. Like I said, that was a 1980 press, Japanese. All right, next up, Suzi Quatro. If you knew Suzi, I'm not sure if this is her debut album. Suzi Quatro, great bass player, good singer. This is a very good record, kind of cool. This is from 1979 U.S. pressing. It's a Richmond press. It's actually originally released in 78, so this is a repress. It's on RSO Records. And Suzi, I mean, if you know her, you know her. Like it says, if you knew Suzi, you would listen because honestly, she's a very good singer, good songwriter, good bass player. There's your classic RSO label on there. And yeah, so I would recommend that. Next up, this one I would definitely recommend. I prefer this album over the last one. This is Rock Hard. Very cool Suzi Quatro cover. Of course, Suzi, there's your track listing on the back. You know, the thing is with Suzi, she never hit huge mainstream success. She was on television for a while. She played Leather Tuscadero on the Happy Days TV show back in the day. So I was aware of her as a young preteen boy when she was on Happy Days, and looking like this, piqued my interest, I guess you would say. That one's a 1980 U.S. press also. There's your inner sleeve. There's Susie being badass right there. There's Susie right there. This is a really cool album. And this one is on Dreamland Records. And like I say, all nice and shiny and stuff. So, yeah. And those were basically with all of these records. That's it. That's all I have. And basically everything in this list with the Rainbow, the first time I ever owned a Rainbow albums was with that find. The first Rock Goddess, that's the only Rock Goddess album I have. I only had it because of that find. The Rose Tattoo, the Rush albums, the Sammy Hagar, and the Suzi Quatro, including the Rock Machine Still Turns You On. None of those were anything I'd ever owned before. I'd never had any Rainbow or any Rush or any Suzi Quatro or any Sammy Hagar or any Rose Tattoo or any of that until I found those in the dumpster. And I am so glad that I found those, because all those records I talked about today are very good albums. Some better than others, but they're all just great stuff. Just classic. That Rainbow's classic. The Rush is classic. Just all great stuff. So that's part 8. So we're getting there, guys. I'm getting there. I'm almost done. Only 5 or so more weeks to go. That's it for me for this week. I hope you guys all have a great weekend. I want to thank you all for sitting around here now that I've gone on for over 20 minutes. I really appreciate you all watching, commenting, and everything else. You guys have a great, safe, for those of you in the U.S., have a great Memorial Day weekend. And you guys all take care of yourselves. Everybody else out there, all take care of yourselves, and I will talk to you all later, man. Have a good one.